Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 23, Shloka 4 onwards. Please repeat. Kechanate Jyotir Anikam Shishumara Samsthanena Bhagavato Vasudevasya Yoga Dharanayam Anuvarnayanti Kechana. Some yogis or learned scholars of astronomy Etat, this Jyoti Anikam, great wheel of planets and stars, Shishumara Samsthanena. Imagine this wheel to be a Shishumara dolphin, Bhagavataha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudevasya, Lord Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, Krishna, Yoga Dharanayam, in absorption in worship, Anuvarnayanti, describe. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Gopāl. Purport. This great mission, consisting of the stars and planets, resembles the form of a Shishumara dolphin in the water. It is sometimes considered as incarnation of Krishna, Vasudeva. Great yogis meditate upon Vasudeva in this form because it is actually visible. This great mission, consisting of the stars and planets, resembles the form of Shishumara dolphin in the water. It is sometimes considered as incarnation of Krishna, Vasudeva. Great yogis meditate upon Vasudeva in this form because it is actually visible. Transcendentalists such as yogis whose minds cannot accommodate the form of the Lord prefer to visualize something very great, such as the Virat Purusha. Therefore, some yogis contemplate this imaginary Shishumara to be swimming in the sky the way a dolphin swims in water. They meditate upon it as the Virat Rupa, the gigantic form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation. This form of the Shishumara has its head downward and its body coiled. On the end of its tail is the planet of Dhruva. On the body of its tail are the planets of the demigods, Prajapati, Agni, Indra, and Dharma. And at the base of its tail are the planets of the demigods, Dāsa and Vidāta. Where the hips might be on the Shishumara are the seven saintly sages like Vasishtha and Angira. The coiled body of the Shishumara Chakra turns towards its right side, on which the 14 constellations from Abhijit to Punarvasha are located. On its left side of the 14 stars from Pushya to Uttarashada. Thus, its body is balanced because its sides are occupied by an equal number of stars. On the back of the Shishumara is a group of stars known as Ajaviti, and on its abdomen is the Ganges that flows in the sky, the Milky Way. 6. On the right and left sides of where the lions might be on the Shishumara Chakra are the stars named Punarvashu and Pushya. Ardra and Aslesha are on its right and left feet. Abhijit and Uttarashada are on its right and left nostrils. Shravana and Purvashada are at its right and left eyes. And Dhanishta and Mula are on its right and left ears. The 8 stars from Magha to Anuradha which mark the southern course, are on the ribs of the left of its body. And the 8 stars from Mrugash- Mrugashirsha, Mrugashirsha to Purvabharata, which mark the northern course, are on the ribs of on the right side. Shatabhisha and Jyeshta are on the right and left shoulders. 7. On the upper chin of the Shishumara is Agasti, on its lower chin Yamaraja, on its mouth Mars, on its genitals Saturn, on the back of its neck Jupiter, on its chest the sun, and within the core of its heart Narayana. Within its mind is the moon, on its navel Venus, and on its breast the Ashwini Kumaras. Within its life air, which is known as Pranapana, is Mercury. On its neck is Rahu. All over its body are comets, and in its pores are the numerous stars. My dear king, the body of the Shishumara, as thus described, should be considered the eternal form of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Morning, noon, and evening, one should silently observe the form of the Lord as the Shishumara Chakra and worship him with this mantra. O Lord, who have assumed the form of time, O resting place of all the planets moving in different orbits, O Master of all demigods, O Supreme Person, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you and meditate upon you. 9. The body of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, which forms the Shishumara Chakra, is the resting place of all the demigods and the stars and planets. One who chants this mantra to worship that Supreme Person 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening, will surely be freed from all sinful reactions. If one simply offers his obeisances to this form or remembers this form 3 times a day, all his recent sinful activities will be destroyed. Summarizing the entire description of the planetary systems of the universe, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura says that one who is able to meditate upon this arrangement as the Virat Rupa or Vishwarupa, the eternal body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worship him 3 times a day by meditation will always be free from all sinful reactions. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura estimates that Dhruvaloka, the pole star, is 3.8 million yojanas above the sun. Above Dhruvaloka, 10 million yojanas is Maharloka. Above Maharloka by 20 million yojanas is Janaloka. Above Janaloka by 80 million yojanas is Tapaloka. And above Tapaloka, 120 million yojanas is Satyaloka. Thus, the distance from the sun to Satyaloka is 233.8 million yojanas or 1,870,400,000 miles. The Vaikuntha planets begin 26.2 million yojanas above Satyaloka. Thus, the Vishnu Purana describes that the covering of the universe is 260 million yojanas away from the sun. The distance from the sun to the earth is 100,000 yojanas. And below the earth by 70,000 yojanas are the 7 lower planetary systems called Atala, Pitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. Below these lower planets by 30,000 yojanas, Sheshanaga is lying on the Garbhodaka ocean. That ocean is 249.8 million yojanas deep. Thus, the total diameter of the universe is approximately 500 million yojanas or 4 billion miles. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 5th canto, 23rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Shishmara Planetary System. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Gnananjanakshalaakaya Chakshurmeniलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथामान्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhe Vachan Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
What? I think there's a picture of this in the fifth canto. That
invitation.
the book is there.
A black. Is this one you mean?
No, this is it's a picture of a dolphin. Is that there? Huh? Give me the book, Haribo. Huh?
Yeah. Chakra.
No, yeah. So you can see that this is actually a description of the Shisumara. It's a shape like a dolphin upside down. And the planets are, there are so many stars, you know. One moon and how many stars? 27.
Yes.
Huh?
27 stars.
27 stars. Yeah? So they are placed in that way on the dolphin. Interesting point here is that this thing is working. The interesting point here is that there are yogis who meditate on this form. And by meditating on this form, they also realize the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, 9:15, you can see this, 9:15 of the Gita.
ज्ञान यज्ञेन चापन्ये यजन्तो माम उपासते.
What happened? Read the whole verse, no?
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतोमुखम्.
So you see here, Jnana Yajnena Chapi Anye. This verse is 9:15. So 9:13, 9:14 is describing the qualities of the Mahatma. See, this Mahatma is explaining, what is that?
9:30. Mahatmanastu, that was
What is that verse?
Mahatmanastu.
Bahunam Janmanam Ante. What is that?
7:19.
7:19. So you go to this verse, you see 7:19. So here, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Janavan Mam Prapadyante, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samatma Sudurlabha. So here, Krishna is explaining who is a Mahatma. Who is a
Mahatma.
Who is the Mahatma?
After many births and deaths, he who is actually knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare.
So the one who has surrendered to Krishna, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, he is classified as what?
Mahatma.
Right? You understand?
Yes.
Now, in the 9:15, of course, the qualification of Mahatma is given in 9:13 and 9:14, right?
Yes.
You can go 9:13, 9:14. What is the qualification of the Mahatma?
O son of Pruta, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
So these Mahatmas are fully surrendered to Krishna. Yes?
Yes.
Understand that? Know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. This is in collaboration with Arjuna saying, praying to him in 10, 12, 13, right?
Yes. Yes.
Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paraman Bhavan Purusham Sastvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. So here this verse is showing the supremacy of Krishna exclusively, you know. And then again in 14 he shows what they do, how they engage. Satatam Kitayanto Mam. So they are always engaging. Satatam means what?
Always.
They are fully engaged in only what? Kitayanto Mam. They are always engaged in chanting. Kirtan. Kirtan means doesn't only chanting, it also means like you are engaged in any activity in broadcasting the Lord, preaching. So they are Krishna conscious 24 hours. Yatantascha druddha vrtaha. That means they are not failing every day, every moment. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. They are paying obeisance to my Nitya Yukta Upashate. Can you read?
Yes. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Perpetually means what? Perpetually means what? Huh? Eternally. So you see, this is the qualification of the Mahatma. The qualification of Mahatmas is given in these two verses in the Bhagavatam. What is the qualification of Mahatma? But 552.
Mahat Seva Dwara.
Can go 552. So this is just saying that if you serve them, then also say Mahantaste Samachita Prashanta Vi Manyavaha Suhida Sadhavo He. So these two lines qualifies the Mahatmas, yes?
Yes.
What is that translation?
One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas.
So this is another qualification. They are very peaceful, fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. Where else in the Bhagavatam? Tikshva Karunaikaha.
Yeah.
3:25-21, I think.
Your point is that he's accepting the personality of Godhead versus the 915, which is the secondary verses.
Yeah, I'm not going to that yet. I'm just qualifying the Mahatma first. So in the Bhagavad Gita, these two verses have been explained. So in the Bhagavatam,
But these are all qualities, not mentioning that they are worshipper.
actually the verse is 3:25-25. Tatam prasanga mama virya samvido. So Prabhupada always quote this verse whenever he speaks about the devotees. You see. Can you chant this? Who wants to chant?
Tatam prasangam mama virya samvido
Tatam prasangam mama virya samvido.
bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kadam
Bhavanti hirkarna rasayana katha.
Tajoshanadasvapavargavatmani
Tajosanada swapamargamatmini.
Shraddharatir bhaktiranukramishati.
Sadara vibhakti anukramisati.
In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of the liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. The real devotion and devotional service begins.
Because this is speaking about associating with the Mahatmas. So the main thing is that a person who is a Mahatma is 10% engaged in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his what? 200 form, right? With a flute. So that is the in the 555, I think, or 556. Unless they know me as Vasudev, they cannot come out of the cycle of birth and death.
Even 400 form would classify.
Huh?
Even 400 form worshipper would classify
Also,
qualify.
yeah.
I didn't understand.
Even 400 form also will qualify them as Mahatma.
Even the worshipper of the 400 form.
400 form.
is
Oh,
still
I thought 400 forms. So 400 form also, because Krishna, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first he showed his 400 form, and then he showed his topmost form. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport of 1865, right? The devotee should meditate only on the 200 form. A Prabhupada said that, that the form that he exhibited to Arjuna, that. So to further explain this point, I think I did explain this point before, correct? In 6.1,
9.
6.1 what?
8.
Narayana, Parayana, Vasudeva Parayana, and finally he said, Krishna Padaravindayoho. Did I explain that last time?
Yes.
You know? You remember?
Yeah.
Hello? So you see here, I think the 6.1.19 is the. So you go to 6.1, what is that?
14.
Don't know, you go first.
14.
Those who have got you can see the word Vasudeva Parayana. That's what, like a folk. What is that verse?
Kechit Kevala.
Yeah. Can you go that first?
15.
Yeah, here you see, Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayanaha. You understand here? Are you saying hello? Agaham Dunvanti Krasneyena Niharanam Eva Bhaskaram. The translation.
Only a rare person who has adapted complete unallied devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays.
So this is the translation of this verse. But then you go to the next one, he speaks about Narayana Parayanaha. So from Vasudeva Parayana, he then went to next. Yeah. Narayana Parayanaha. You see this? Can you read this?
The path followed by
Why you don't want to chant the verse? Yes, chant this.
Sadrichino hi ekam loke pantaha chemo kuto bayaha sushilaha sadhavo yatra narayana parayanaha. The path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved and fully endowed with the best qualifications is certainly the most auspicious path in this material world. It is free from fear and it is authorized by the Shastras.
So now it says Narayana Parayana. Now in this verse, 6.1.19, this is 6.1.19.
Yes.
Yeah. So this word, Sakran Manaha Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Is this word now? Are you following? Now, why he has put this word Krishna Padara Avindayo? Okay, can you read the translation?
Although not having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto his lotus feet and who have become attracted to his name, form, qualities, and pastimes are completely freed of all sinful reactions, for they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamaraja or his order carriers, who are equipped with ropes and to bind the sinful.
So here in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining. Can you read the purport?
Yes. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of the religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This same principle is described here. Sakran mana Krishna padara vindayo. If by studying Bhagavad Gita one decides to surrender to Krishna, he is immediately freed from all sinful reactions. It is also significant that Shukadeva Goswami, having several times repeated the words Vasudeva Parayana and Narayana Parayana, finally says Krishna Padara Vindayo. Thus, he indicates that Krishna is the origin of both Narayana and Vasudeva. Even though Narayana and Vasudeva are not different from Krishna, simply by surrendering to Krishna, one fully surrenders to all his expansions.
So you see the important point here? Simply by surrendering to Krishna, one surrenders to all the
Forms.
I mean, everything is included in Krishna. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Read on.
All his expansions, such as Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matha Parataram Nanya, there is no truth superior to me. There are many names and forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is the supreme form. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, Krishna recommends to neophyte devotees that one should surrender unto him only, Ma Ekam. Because neophyte devotees cannot understand what the forms of Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda are. Krishna directly says Mam Ekam. Herein, this is also supported by the word Krishna Padara Vindayo. Narayana does not speak personally, but Krishna or Vasudeva does, as in Bhagavad Gita, for example. Therefore, to follow the direction of Bhagavad Gita means to surrender unto Krishna. And to surrender in this way is the highest perfection of Bhakti Yoga. Parikshit Maharaja had inquired from Shukadeva Goswami how one can be saved from falling into the various conditions of hellish life. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami answers that a soul who has surrendered to Krishna certainly cannot go to Naraka, hellish existence. To say nothing of going there, even in his dreams, he does not see Yamaraja or his order carriers who are able to take one there. In other words, if one wants to save himself from falling into Naraka, hellish life, he should fully surrender to Krishna. The word Sakrit is significant because it indicates that if one sincerely surrenders to Krishna once, he is saved even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful activities. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9:30, Apichetsu duracharo bhajante mam ananyava sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavastito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. If one never for a moment forgets Krishna, he is safe even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful activities. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 2.40, the Lord also says, Neha Vikraman Ashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpamamasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahadovaya. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita 6:40, the Lord says, Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. One who performs auspicious activity is never overcome by evil. The highest kalyana, auspicious activity is to surrender to Krishna. That is the only path by which to save oneself from falling down into hellish life. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has confirmed this as follows. Kaivalyam narakayate tirtasha pur akasha pushpayate दुर्दांतेन्द्रिय कालसर्पपतले प्रोक्त दंश्रायते विश्वं पूर्ण सुखायते विधि महेन्द्रदैश्च कीटायते यत्कारुण्य कटाक्ष वैभव तं गौरम एव स्तुमः. The simple actions of one who has surrendered unto Krishna are compared to a snake with its poison fangs removed. Prokta damstrayate. Such a snake is no longer to be feared. Of course, one should not commit sinful activities on the strength having surrendered to Krishna. However, even if one who has surrendered to Krishna happens to do something sinful because of his former habits, such sinful actions no longer have a destructive effect. Therefore, one should adhere to the lotus feet of Krishna very tightly and serve him under the direction of spiritual master. Thus, in all conditions, one will be akuto bhaya, free from fear.
So you see in this verse, the point is that you have to serve Krishna ultimately. See, by serving him, you are classified as truly the Mahatma. Of course, you can serve any form of Krishna, but in our lines, since Krishna showed the topmost form, it is for us to worship only this. And Prabhupada also writes in the purport of 1865, he said that we should not divert ourselves to any other form. Huh?
Yes.
So today, the yogis, they are meditating on this Sisumara, you know. Prabhupada writes, it is as like meditating on the universal form. So such people, because they are more attracted to this, so they are not classified as Mahatma. See? This is 9:15, you see? We showed you just now that verse.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Others.
So the one without a second means the Ekatvena means impersonal. Ekatvena means impersonal. Brahmajyoti, the lights, you know. And the other one, worship the Supreme Lord one without a second, as diverse in many. This diverse, Prataktvena means what? Worshipping so many demigods. Pantheism, no? Many gods. This is how most of the Hindus are. They worship what? They think that God has got, everything is God. Even a Muslim man is also God. Right? You see, you understand? And the third one is the universal form, that form that Krishna showed to Vairata Rupa. So all these people are classified as, they are not Mahatmas. They are not. You understand this point? So we are trained to worship Krishna. And when we get attracted to Krishna, then we don't want to have anything else. We don't want to have. You see the difference, just like the gopis, when Krishna disappeared, you know, when he disappeared, you know where that was? He disappeared. Can you take out that verse? And then, to test the gopis, he came as Narayana form. See how the mood of the gopis, they were not, they paid obeisances. They're not that they walked, they paid obeisances and they worshipped him and then they left. They want to see only Krishna. You know where Madhya 9? Narayanera Hekata, huh? This was, is this the one? 144. Can you read the?
Yes, sir. Because Krishna has four extraordinary qualities not possessed by Lord Narayana, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, always desires his company.
The goddess of fortune always desire his company.
You have recited the shloka beginning with Siddhantastva Avedapi. That very verse is evidence that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to transcendental realization, there is no difference between the forms of Krishna and Narayana. Yet in Krishna, there is a special transcendental attraction due to the conjugal mellow, and consequently, he surpasses Narayana. This is the conclusion of transcendental mellows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, attracts the mind of the goddess of fortune, but Lord Narayana cannot attract the minds of the gopis. This proves the super excellence of Krishna.
Is this here? Next.
To say nothing of Lord Narayana personally, Lord Krishna himself appeared as Narayana just to play a joke on the gopis. Although Krishna assumed the four-armed form of Narayana, he could not attract the serious attention of the gopis in ecstatic love.
He could not, because they were completely absorbed in
Krishna.
In Krishna. So their mind will not get attracted to anybody else. See?
Once Lord Krishna playfully manifested himself as Narayana with four victorious hands and a very beautiful form. When the gopis saw this exalted form, however, their ecstatic feelings were crippled. A learned scholar therefore cannot understand the gopis' ecstatic feelings, which are firmly fixed upon the original form of Lord Krishna as the son of Nanda Maharaja. The wonderful feelings of the gopis in ecstatic Paramarasa with Krishna constitute the greatest mystery in spiritual life.
This Krishna's form, of course, even this goes into detail, that when the gopis saw him in Kurukshetra, they didn't like it also. They said, no, I want to go to the what?
190.
The Yamuna river below the what tree? Not Reva. That's the words, on this.
Yes.
It goes to the Reva. I want you to play the fifth note, I want the Radharani is praying like that, the Reva. I think it's in Antya 1. Huh? She's not even attracted to seeing Krishna with his what? Royal form,
111.
Yeah?
111.
That's a word.
That is Rupa Goswami 1114.
That is actually the poem that same verse. Can you take that out? You see how she's feeling. She's very attracted to only Krishna and nothing else. And that also not in the mood of a king in Dwaraka. You understand? You see, the Dwaraka mood is still is, as in the Nectar of Devotion, it's explained, Krishna is perfect, more perfect, and most perfect. And is most perfect only in Vrindavan. See? You understand? You reading the Nectar of Devotion?
No, this 179.
Okay, read the Sanskrit, no? It's very nice. You have to chant this properly, Okay, never mind. You just read the translation. Right, read the translation.
My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but I would still like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of the sweet flute playing the fifth note within the forest of Vrindavana.
You see how she's praying? Their mind is so fixed that they are not, that they only like to see Krishna in that form. You understand? Even if he came as Narayana, they are not. Even she sees him in Kurukshetra, still she is not. You understand? Yeah? That's why for devotees, it is said, in 19168. You know the word 19168? No, no. Can go
168.
Adhya. Can you read the translation?
A pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He should not offer worship to the demigods or to mundane personalities. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge, which is devoid of Krishna consciousness. And he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna conscious activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable education of Krishna conscious activities.
Exclusively worshipping only,
Krishna.
not divert the mind to anything else. See? So this is the mood of the pure devotee. And they are called Mahatmas. Whereas the others who worshipping the Sisumara and all, they are, yes, devotees, but they are not considered as Mahatmas. You understand? I mean, are you clear, not clear? Yes, no? Yeah. Jai Sri Radha. So of course, we are all trained to worship only Krishna and nobody else. That's our line. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always preach that even if someone is a Ram Bhakta, he would preach to them to become a Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. What's his name? Anupama. So all were Ram Bhaktas. So he would preach to them, and of course they will listen, and then they start. And in the morning they come and cry. I sold myself to Lord Ram. I cannot take it away, take back and go to Krishna. I'm not possible. Then he embraced them and say, yeah, you are very dear devotee of Ram. That, but his mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wants us to worship exclusively Krishna and not divert our mind to anybody. That's topmost. So sometimes devotees, they think that they can, I have affection for this, I have affection for that. This is all due to sentiment. You follow? It's not like free for, of course, you can worship any form of the Lord you like, But if you are following the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also Prabhupada, then you cannot divert your mind to anybody else except Krishna. That's it. And you follow. That's why Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Sarva dharma parityaja mamek. Mam, only me. You understand? He never say worship any form of mine. No, he didn't say that. Yes? So you see, this point very important. Because other sampradayas, they encourage you to worship. Like that's the debate, but just now the verse, talking to Venkata Bhatt, because he was worshipping who? Narayan, very openly he was worshipping. So in order to elevate him, he asked the question, why your Lakshmi cannot go into Rasalila? And then he asked that question. Okay? So he explained, why are you differentiating between Narayan and Krishna? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains. As a whole, just now we took only a few verses, right?
Yes.
You can go back there and you can read so many verses are there. There's a talk between them. And he quoted one verse, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used the same verse to actually explain why. Just now you read that verse, right?
9:1.
Huh? That your Lakshmi cannot go into the pastimes of Krishna. So this is the point that we have to understand, because our love for Krishna should be undivided. That's why that verse, no? Like that 126, is it? Bhagavatam. Apratihata, ahaituki apratihata. It cannot be, it should be unmotivated. The beginning line is what? Tavai kumso parodam. Yajok bhakti ajok chade. Ahaituki apratihata. Yayatma suprasidati. The word suprasidati means can completely satisfy you. You understand when you read that translation? Or you can chant.
Savai pumsha paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshate ahaitukit apritihata yat masu prasidati. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self.
There's another verse also on this point, Do you know? Anya Vilasita. No, this point of unmotivated and uninterrupted. Just like the Ganga is flowing, completely uninterrupted. 329, 11, 12. But in the CC only the 12 is explained. Lakshanam Bhakti Yoga Asya. Is it that? Nirgunasya Udaritam Ahaituki Avya Aya no, what is that? Avyavahita Ye Bhakti Purushottame. Is this? Why don't you go to the CC and just take this word out from the CC better? Just because here the translation is a little bit mixed up, Can you go CC? So the same point, but it's in this verse. You got it? The CC? Where is that in the CC?
Adi 4,
19174. 172. 19172. Yeah, see here that verse. Can you translation?
These are the characteristics of transcendental loving service of Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is causeless and it cannot be obstructed in any way.
It cannot be obstructed in what happened? Not coming up. So you see that it gets causeless and cannot be obstructed in any way. That is devotion to Krishna. You understand this? Huh? That's why it says in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, 435, is it? 435. Huh? Can you go? See here the first line, Yat Gyantva na punar moham. So once you understand this truth about Krishna, you cannot again be illusion. There's no way you can be. And it's always what? Even you may fall down, as we explained in the purport, even just now we read, no?
6:119.
He does not suffer like a total washout. Understand? That's the thing about devotional service. Krishna, once you go to Krishna, then Krishna is giving you all protection. And Prabhupada quoted in the purport that's now that even though you are the worst sinner, by taking up this process, very quickly you will become
Righteous.
Dharmatma.
Shikram.
See? You follow this point. This is, whereas if you go to the other kind of, that's now the word anye, others, then you don't get the same kind of strength. Exclusively, that Krishna said, you declared boldly that my devotee will
Never fall.
So the word my devotee never perish means what? Huh? What does it mean?
This even Narayana form, Narayana devotee also will not fall down.
No.
This is not only exclusive to Krishna.
I mean, I'm talking about the anye. The anye means the three categories. Who's that?
Ekatvena, Prutatvena,
The impersonalists, the worshippers of demigods, and the one who worship the
Vishwatama.
those who go on that category, they don't get this exclusiveness. You follow? What was I saying now? Once having obtained the real knowledge from self-realization, you will never fall again into such illusion. Right? See, there's another word, I think it starts with the word pada, 11 canto, that even if he falls down, you got the sloka book here? Bring that book here, easier for me. 11? Huh?
Somebody follow this.
No, that is blind. Never trip and fall. No, but this verse is about even if you fall down.
Don't fall down.
Yeah. Yeah, pada, no pada. This verse is quoted by Prabhupada and Swapada, 11.542. Can you read this?
Verse
11.542. Huh? Why the verse is not coming out there?
Swapadamoolam bhajata priyasya tektanya bhavasya hari pareshaha vikarmayat chotpatitam katamchid dunoti sarvam hrudi sannivishtaha. One who has thus given up all other engagements and has taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated within everyone's heart, immediately takes away the reaction of such sin.
See that? The Lord is especially a devotee, but it doesn't mean that we should take advantage of these verses and do all nonsense. You know. Accidental fall down. And yes, the Lord is always, you know. That's also explained in another place. You know. What is that?
1, 5,
1, 5, 12. 1, 5,
19.
12.
19.
19. 1, 5, 19. Yeah, did the translation.
My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes fall down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again.
See this point? So that's why you become a devotee, even a little endeavor saves you from the greater
Danger.
because you have got the higher taste and you're always aspiring for that higher taste. That's why the devotee of Krishna, why Krishna says, after many, many births, right? One who has understand that I'm all in all, such a person is what? Great and rare soul. See? Because it's not a cheap program, you know, to become a devotee of Krishna. You follow this point. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came exclusively because he wanted to bring everybody to Krishna consciousness. That is his objective. Because Krishna has got a special place. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you see, there are some other groups, they are praying to God. They say, God is great. Yeah? Yes or no? Correct? All they worship God is great, God is great, God is. But unless you know how great He is, how you can actually have affection for Him? Huh? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Huh? You understand what I'm saying? How to know how His greatness? How? That's why Krishna comes to perform His pastimes. That's why Janma Karma Cha Mridivyam Evam Yoveti Tattva Yakva Deham Punar Janma Nahite Mameti. Why Yakva Na Punar Janma? Why? Why is it Na Punar Janma? Why you say that? Why? Oh, fine. What is the reason? Hello? Because these pastimes are very attractive. It is not like I'm making a Superman movie or Batman or what. It is not like that, no. Correct? You understand? His pastimes are very, very what? Attractive. That's explained in, I think, in 9 canto, no? By especially he comes at the end of what? Vapara Yoga. Actually, it's not even, it's in Sandhya, I think. Kali Yoga and Dwapara Yoga, there's some in between period of time. He comes at that time.
The last part of Gopāl and the beginning part of Kali, the whole thing is
At that time he appears. Yeah. So he says in this 9 canto, 24th chapter, he says, well, there's another verse also. 11:167. Because he wants to help us. Because he wants to. I think go there better, no? Yeah. 11:167. So this is his mercy. See? You understand this point? Hello? Huh? Are you following? 11:1, chapter 1, text 6, 7. See, he's particularly doing his pastime. Why at this time? He could have done in Satya Yoga, he could have done in so many other yogas, right? Why? Huh? Can you read this?
Yes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the reservoir of all beauty. All beautiful things emanate from him, and his personal form is so attractive that it steals the eyes away from all other objects, which then seem devoid of beauty in comparison to him. When Lord Krishna was on the earth, he attracted the eyes of all people. When Krishna spoke, his words attracted the minds of all who remembered them. By seeing the footsteps of Lord Krishna, people became attracted to him, and thus they wanted to offer their bodily activities to the Lord as his followers. In this way, Krishna very easily spread his glories, which are sung throughout the world by the most sublime and essential Vedic verses. Lord Krishna considered that simply by hearing and chanting those glories, conditioned soul, but born in the future, would cross beyond the darkness of ignorance. Being satisfied with this arrangement, he left for his desired destination.
See this point here? Huh? Conditioned souls born in the future would cross beyond the darkness of ignorance, right?
Yes.
Simply by hearing and chanting this. You see that line there? Hello? Huh? Is this not the supreme compassion of the Lord? Huh? Of course, even then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, even you chant huh? Just by seeing him, they go home back to Garden. Huh? You see how much the Lord is compassionately making arrangement, countless arrangement to save the conditions. Of course, He caters for everybody. Vadanti tat tattva vidas, you know that verse 1:10, is it?
1 to 10.
The Lord is what? Manifest these forms, either as Brahman or what? Paramatma, you know. So, ye yata mam prapadyante, tam prateva bhajami. So, as you surrender, He reward accordingly. But the reward accordingly means they're not all the same reward for everybody. If you worship Brahman, it doesn't mean that you go back. Correct? You understand why you have to say like that? As you surrender, a reward. Why? That means there is what? And if you surrender exclusively to Him, then that's it. Your reward is 10%. Correct? So try to understand and how worshipping of Krishna is. That's why he says, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mam. Don't deviate. Don't think that you can choose what? Whichever you like to choose. We have to follow the order of the spiritual master and fully surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna only. You understand?
Yes.
You want to choose. You like what? Sai Baba. What do you like? Ali Baba. There's no such thing actually. Your mind should be only fixed on who? That's it.
So if we are supposed to worship Krishna, then why are we discussing Sumara and planetary systems? We should not be discussing all these things. We should just focus on the form of Krishna and that's all. Not all these planets, what is the use? And why are we trying to debunk the moon landing? Why are we trying to debunk the evolutionists? Why are we wasting our time? Actually, there are Vaishnavas who say like this. They are all philosophers, they are all debaters, they are all devotees, we are only focusing on Krishna.
This is the Sahaja group. They talk like that. And all those people who read all these things, they are what? Low platform.
But in the class now says all this lower platform, not Mahatma.
Yeah.
They want to be Mahatma.
Yes. So why we speak like that is to make you understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. So in this verse, Prabhupada is giving the purport that some of them are worshipping the Sisumara, the yogis. So we want to highlight to you, yeah, the Sisumara is there. The yogis are there, they're worshipping. And some people may be attracted to this. So our class today is to make you understand that no, you should not divert to these other forms. They are there. Why it is explained? Because they are existing. Now we are talking about the universal development, and Sukadev Goswami is giving what? What is this planetary system? What is the so if there's no need for him to speak. But try to understand, although he speaks about all this, but his end point was he reserved the 10th canto for what? Exclusively to tell you to just get into the Krishna pastime. Understand his point? Correct. But before he goes to that, he tells you about all. Bhagavatam means the form of the Lord, starting from the leg, what?
Thanks.
Ankle, then goes up, and then finally it comes to the face. Yes? What is that? Verse dāsa mein.
That is parts of the body is from Padma Purana.
Yeah. Pado Yediyo Pradama Dvitiya.
What?
Padma Purana.
Second canto also, speaks about the
Parts of the body is not in the Bhagavad.
is not in the Bible?
Yeah.
Is it quoted by Prabhupada there?
No. Pado Yediyo Pradama Dvitiya. Just mentioned in English.
I think in 210 also he mentions, that verse, dāsa mein,
That is the 10th.
only on the 10th canto. How the 10th canto is so glorious, So the point is this, that all this are information pertaining to this universe. So the devotee should be aware, not that you look at the sun and the moon and that's what's going on here. He has to understand the whole thing, at least theoretically. This is how it is constructed. There is Brahmaloka, below that is Tapaloka, Mahaloka, all these planetary systems are there. And here the Sisumara is explained. All this are knowledge for you to know that how Krishna has created this whole thing. And for a devotee, of course, he's hearing it, he becomes more what? So much more mesmerized by the power of Krishna, how Krishna is so great. You see the point? Of course, he can divert also, like the, what do you call that, people who worship the impersonal form. They think that's it, nothing else. A devotee is not in that category. That's why Vadanti Tattva Vida Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sabdayate. So that's why Krishna says, once you know me, then you know everything. But if you don't know him, but you know little bit here and there, and that doesn't constitute knowing him incomplete. So here, Sukadev Goswami is trying to explain all these other things before he comes to the conclusion that Krishna is the. So therefore the gopis, as he's saying, the gopis, they're not bothered. They're not interested also. Of course, that's the very high platform. But maybe you are in that category. But, we need to understand what?
Incomplete.
The whole, what we say, creation of the Lord. We have to understand how everything is there and how Krishna is ultimately. So not go like the yogis and just get mesmerized by this dolphin and you think, Prabhu, I will now worship this dolphin. So the class today is to make you understand that there's no need to do that kind of because exclusively you should just concentrate on who. Although these things are there, like this verse, what is that verse? 19:165, is it? 19165. Can you go there?
As long as there is not the slightest pretense of pure love of Krishna, which is the perfect medicinal herb for controlling Lord Krishna within the heart, the opulences of the material perfections known as the siddhis, the brahmanical perfections, satya, shama, titiksha, and so on, the trance of the yogis, and the monistic bliss of Brahman all seem wonderful for them. Yeah.
Right? All seems wonderful. All these other things seems very, as long as there's no what?
Slightest pretense.
It says here, you know, the slightest fragrance of pure love of Krishna. Huh? Hello? Are you understanding?
Yes.
So as long as all these things are, you hear, or like example, the mystic power, you get very attracted. You understand? Oh, if I just meditate like this, I'll get the power. Yeah. I think I will do this from today. The whole thing is described in 11 canto. 11 what? 20,
One chapter is yes.
I think it's 11, 15. 11, 15 chapter. All the mystic powers. You know? 14 or 15, somewhere there. So you see how the subject today is to make sure that you don't divert from the slightest fragrance of pure love of Krishna. Because these things are all very alluring, you know.
But if we have to become the scientists or something like that, we need to kind of understand this in
Yes.
order to present to them in a logical way. Otherwise, we look like idiots who don't know anything. Simply talk.
But these guys, the scientists, are they're very hard-headed people. How much you talk to them also, they will not budge. I mean, I'm here reading all these talks of Prabhupada with all the scientists. They're very dull-headed.
Actually, it's not for the scientists to change, they won't change. But when we hear, we will get more understanding.
How Prabhupada argues, you know, is how to convince us that guys are brainless and that they are controlling the whole world. They have pushed God away, you know, so-called scientists. And actually, the only person who can save us is who? Only Krishna. That's why he said, abandon all varieties of all these dharmas and just surrender to me. I will deliver you. So that faith is to be developed. So that's why Krishna does these pastimes, that you know how great he is. When he came as Ram, he never exhibited his true, greatness. But when he came as Krishna, he exhibited, and some things are also very, looks very puzzling, like his Rasa Leela, lifting up the Govardhan hill, you know. So all these activities are to convince us, you know, this is God, I am God. And if you surrender to me, you'll never lose out. Okay? Do not fear. Again, he puts the word, right? Why? To give us that. You understand? Especially us, because we're only seeing his deity form. No? Because the pure devotee, they are seeing all his pastime because they're so powerful. Huh? You understand? So that sometimes the question comes, is this thing all real? Huh? In the mind, you think this is all real. Krishna, is it real? Huh? Such a person is there, exiting. So it creates what? Doubt. So therefore Krishna to exhibit his greatness. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why I am the Supreme? Because I did all these things, that. That's why he also said, fools deride me when I come in the Human form? What is that word?
9/11.
Hello? Hello? What's that word? Don't know. Fool deride me when I come in this. What is 9/11? Okay, he's awake. 9/11. Avajanante mam. See, manusya tanam ashritam. And I come in this. You follow?
The word actually, the kind of word that is used there, it very much kind of supports the impersonalist idea. Because here, ashritam means take shelter of. Manushin Tanamash, he took shelter of a human body, which is what the Mayavadis say.
Because they can interpret in any way, their choice, right? That's why after Prabhupada wrote, only all became devotees. Other guys wrote so many books, but nobody became devotees. Right? That is even explained by the Macmillan Company. Only your book is selling, others are not selling. Because Bhagavad Gita means what? If Krishna is speaking, then where's the question of I'm coming from the impersonal thing? He already clarified that already. In 724, he already cleared, fool deride me. He said, Abudaya, those who are foolish. Understand? So he already spoke, and these guys are trying to come inside to shed more lights that he came from the light, with their torchlight, It's nonsense. You follow? That's why you have to read Bhagavad Gita, with the help of a pure devotee. Otherwise, all this Sanskrit thing, you can what? You can play around and you can be misled. Why before Prabhupada, so many scholars are there, so many, what? Chaturvedi, Rigvedi, this Vedi, that Vedi, completely a Vedi. Who deviates everyone from the right path. Yes, because they are not devotees. That's why Krishna also stressed in Bhagavad Gita 4:3. 4:3, what is that? Because you are my devotee and you can understand these things. Again in 13:19, also he says, you see, in 13:19 also he says, Mad Bhakta Etad Vijnanya. You see that? Can you read the translation?
Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
See? In the 4:3, it says, because you are my devotee and my friend, I am revealing this secret. Here, he says, because all these complex, the body, the field of activities, all are very complex subjects. But only my devotee can understand this thoroughly. Hello? Is that?
4:3.
This is 4:3. Everybody knows it. I'm sure you know. You know, right? 4:3, you know? You don't know? You know or not? Don't know. You know. So you see this new, I don't know you know this verse. Did you know about this verse? 13:19. 13:19, quoted by Prabhupada. Again, he explaining how only my devotee. Yeah, Prabhupada quoted this. Where in the talk in class. Conversation. No, not conversation. Conversation also, yeah. I think it's a morning walk, So when I was reading it, I was amazed because I did not know this. I was thinking of always 4:3, my bhakta, my devotee, But then when I saw this, I said, wow, there's something more in the Gita. Exclusively, only my devotee can know me. Of course, he also said in 7:1, you can know me in full. But that fool doesn't mean he knows A to Z,
Sometimes amalgam is material plus
Yeah. But when we were asked question, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you know everything. So whatever Krishna want me to know, I know. You see, you understand? You cannot say that, oh, whatever you need to know, Krishna will. But you cannot say in this, everything you know. You walk around like a what? A Sarvagya.
The other example is Arjuna when he said, both you and I have taken birth, but you don't remember actually.
Yeah.
Arjuna is the pure why he cannot know.
Krishna has to reveal to him. Otherwise, what's the use of talking Gita? No need to talk.
No, the point is that the devotee does not need to know everything that Krishna knows.
If he knows everything, then inconceivable. That potency of God is undermined. I know everything about you. But Krishna also says in 7:26, me no one knows. And even Bhishmadev said in 1:9:16, nobody can understand the plan of the Lord. Nobody. You understand? So you have to know all these verses to challenge people. You know. So the point is that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And unless you are his devotee, then all these other things like the Susumara and the impersonal and all these things will create confusion in your mind.
So, Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the follow when he came. But Gopāl asked to put the planetarium inside the why in such a house is like not only like devotional service, but even in that also Madhurya and Parakiya and Kalamka, highest form of devotion is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. Why are we why Prabhupada asked to put a planetarium there which is material world?
You see, we are all been brainwashed by the scientific views. All of us grew up like that. I know what is that? What is that thing in school? The light bulb was there,
Solar
right? The sun is fixed, and then the earth is there, one more, and then on the earth there's one moon, correct? They cleverly made it that you turn, all this goes around like this, the moon also going around. I'm sure you learned that. Yes? Did you learn that? Everybody is brainwashed by this kind of a knowledge, speculated by the scientists, so-called. That has become the norm. But Prabhupada idea is to tell us that this is not that information. So he wanted, actually, even before giving the idea of the TOP, he always wanted someone to draw a full scale of this whole planetary system. Because he is, because the Acharya, he wanted to defeat, actually he was aiming to defeat the scientists. His whole program was to smash this thing. Because they have completely monopolized, brainwashed all of us. And you think that that's it. The sun is like that, the moon is like that. I mean, which is totally wrong. And why you want to do that? Again, a question. Because he wants to establish the Vedic scripture, the word of Krishna, as the what? The real truth. Which is, otherwise people's faith get what? Diverted. No, how can it be true, you know? Krishna must not be speaking the right thing. Huh? You see what I mean? And Prabhupada wants to just smash all that. That's why his idea now, build this thing like this and everybody come and can see. Otherwise, where there's an example? Where? Even this thing, I don't know, they're doing exactly as what, I don't know, on this map, you know.
And all this. We also how is it's wrong and how
The planetary system moving and all that, to some extent, they got it right, some extent. But we were doing it millions of years ago before that. It's not that because they have discovered they are fully right and we are wrong. We have been doing it for how long? Huh? Millions of years. Yes. So who to follow? Millions of years people who doing right and you just came yesterday. You're okay. You're more intelligent than them. How you explain that? Huh? So the millions, they are trying to prove that our millions of years of theory is wrong. And we have now what? Fully understood and discovered by showing some little thing like this. But there's many, many things they cannot conceive. They don't know. They also admit this whole thing is still a mystery for us. Yes? Is it not? But for us, clear information, of course, even to understand that we need also good brain, you know. Today you understand the Shisumara, this thing is there, this thing is there, you understand. Huh? Not easy, you know. That's why for us, devotees, whether you understand or don't understand, never mind. As long as you understand Krishna, then everything, which is the most important thing. Yes? That verse, no? 7:2. 7:2 below, last line. That is the verse there. What Upanishad? Manduka.
Mundaku.
Huh? What Upanishad?
Mundaku.
Manduka means frog.
Kasmin bhagavo vignate sarvamidam vijnanam.
What is that?
Mundaku Upanishad.
Mundaka.
Hmm.
Mundaka. Huh? Kasminu bhagavo
Bhagavo vignate.
Vigyate sarvam idam vigyantam bhavati. The translation is on top there. Right? When the cause of all cause becomes known, then everything known becomes known and nothing remains unknown. So the cause of all causes is what? Who is that? Sarva Karanam. Who is that? You understand? So we have to understand these things on devotional aspect. We don't want to deviate from them because we have seen many people who adhere to this so-called atheistic way of accepting knowledge has completely destroyed the faith that Krishna is the all-in-all. That's what's going on in today's context. You understand? Because it's detrimental. It's undermining the faith. And it's what? Not bringing your exclusive devotion to Krishna. And that is dangerous. That's what? You follow?
No, there's an argument. Just now you said, whether you know it or not, it's all very complicated. This question. So actually, the Advaitavadis and the scientists, they see as Bhakti yogis are not intelligent, that's why they cannot conceive anything. All these measurements, you can actually draw mathematical something from this. But these people, they're too lazy to put their mind into it. So it's an interest. So this is for the lower IQ people, Bhakti, the Jnana, this is all for more intellectual who have the brain to understand.
So what did you understand? Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked this question. What is this Dvaita, Advaita? Prabhupada quoted, you know what verse Prabhupada quoted? You know what verse he quoted? Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. He's arguing and he's quoting this one. What is this Annad Bhavanti Bhutani do the Dvaita, Advaita, this thing? All Dvaita, Advaita, all wasting time. You need food grain to eat. And then you are Advaitis, you are Advaiti, whatever. You need food. So please go grow food. This is, you see how he explained? I was mesmerized. What kind of answer is this? What? See how intelligent he is. Huh? What is practical? Advaita. Dvaita. Huh? Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. So we are less intelligent. You are more intelligent, but you still need food grains. Can you survive without food grains? And how you get food grains? You have to perform sacrifice, right? See how this is why he's Acharya. He's knows how to handle anything. He's smart. So we learn. How we learn? We ask this tricky question. I didn't want to pull up my hair. How to answer this? What verse I should think? And simply he see how he's smashed. Don't worry about all this. You worry about this thing. Food, go plant some plant, eat. Right? So try to see it like that. You understand? That's the same thing that we are putting on this class. This whole class is to make you understand that you concentrate on Krishna. You understand? And that will stay. Even Shankaracharya also said, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja, Mura Mati. This Dukran and all these things are wasting time. He is the leader of the Mayavad. Is the what? So you see, therefore, Acharya Pasanam, Mahajana Ena Sagata Panta. Don't waste your time in all these other things. Okay? Think getting late, huh? Any more questions?
The answer is that 563 people.
5?
16:3.
Why we have to study this verse? Then 563 people.
5:53.
16:3 per pad.
From the Hari Seva. Hold on.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura translates this verse as follows: Sri Harisevaya Yaha Haya Anukula Vishaya Baliya Tyage Haya Bhula. One should not give up anything connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking it material or enjoyable for the material senses. Even the senses, when purified, are spiritual. When Maharaja Parikshit was thinking of the universal form of the Lord, his mind was certainly situated on the transcendental platform. Therefore, although he might not have had any reason to be concerned with the detailed information of the universe, he was thinking of it in relationship with the Supreme Lord. And therefore, such geographical knowledge was not material but transcendental. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.20, Nardamuni has said, Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaraha. The entire universe is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although it appears different from him. Therefore, although Parikshit Maharaj had no need for geographical knowledge of this universe, that knowledge was also spiritual and transcendental because he was thinking of the entire universe as an expansion of the energy of the
So here, of course, it's about the same point that we also say, we just concentrate on Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna, right? In fact, he also said, what's the use of all this detailed knowledge, Arjuna? Huh? With a spark of mind.
Splendid.
Hello? You know where is that? Okay. Any other questions? No?
So many avatars. They are unfortunately lighter modes. When they are so much lost with Maya. Actually, spiritualists have Gopāl that have target form, have actually or not. For spiritual, we have gone to the we can connect. We should be interested in knowing the but we should be interested in knowing what here now we should be knowing interested in.
I mean, there are some people who like to hear all these intricacies and all these technical things. Some people just want to chant Hare Krishna and know that Krishna is supreme. So different people are there, different. So it is not that if you don't know, you're lacking or anything. As long as your faith is with Krishna, then everything is complete. Right? Huh?
11 years.
That's also there in 7:2. He says, "Once you surrender to me, I will reveal all this thing to you." Right? So this is not some, what is that, erudite scholarship studying. Not like that. It's a revelation. You know how you get. This is explained by Lord Shiva. You know, in that verse, 24:313, 313.
Yes.
You know, it says here in that verse. You see. That Vasudev, I know, Sukadev knows, whether Vyasa know or not know, I don't know, you know, but this is the line, you know. You understand? This is the Lord Shiva is saying this. On the whole, Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Puran can be learned only through devotional service and not by material intelligence, speculative methods, or imaginary commentary. Not possible. And the Mayavad, they like that. You understand? They're always trying to screw new and new meanings, you know. You follow? That's why Shankaracharya said, he said, don't do that, wasting your time. You follow? So therefore, to save us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Prabhupada came, and all he says was, do chant Hare Krishna. Whether you know or you don't know, never mind, you just chant. Finish. Go back home, back to God. Which is better, to sit down here and analyze the Susumara, all this thing, or just to get back? Huh? Get back. You follow? And that's why I say anybody can come. Everybody can. So easy. Chanting Hare Krishna is especially in Kali Yuga, Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda Upat, everything is a Manda. What is Manda? What's the meaning of Manda? Huh? Dull brain, dull. You cannot conceive of all these things. I mean, now you hear, tomorrow you'll forget. Yeah? Yes? Oh, this verse, huh? Okay. And tomorrow, finish. Yeah? How difficult even to remember. So therefore, best is to surrender and chant. If you want to tell me Krishna, great. If you don't, all right. So we stop here then. Thank you so much.
It's now also worshipping. Now worshipping also the different form. You don't have to say something like from each form. But best form, best form. If you that's is that
He said that one was asking him, what is the best thing? I want to worship Nanda Maharaj, on whose courtyard Krishna is playing, you know. This was from actually it's from Mahabharata, I think. So anyway, there's so many things on this point, but if you can just accept the fact that Krishna is all in all, and you surrender to him exclusively, and you're not going to be the loser. You cannot be. Nobody, what? Even you run with your eyes closed, although you will never trip in. Right? So, okay, thank you so much.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
What time?